Good morning. Today's the 3rd of July 2023. The second half of the year. Hopefully we will see a better, prosperous and profitable year than the first half of the year. So let's crack on. On my screen we've got the SPY chart on the daily time frame. The reason I've got the daily open is because I'm trying to find a rejection area and we haven't got anything of significance until we get to 449.59 or basically the 450 area. That's our next rejection area and we might get there. I don't think so. Today's a half day in the market, so it'll probably be a quiet day, maybe an inside day. It's currently looking weak or weaker than it was when it opened earlier. Our next area is 460, so we've got a massive way to go, but you know, in this market anything's possible. We are currently in a uptrend from this pivot down here. Let's change the colour. So that's where we changed our trend. We were in a downtrend until that point, and then we changed around to an uptrend and putting in a series of higher highs and higher lows, and we could be on the next higher low. We may see a bit of a pullback, so that's probably what I'm expecting to see in the next month, possibly a pullback to the 400, 410 area. If the economy is as weak as everyone says it is and we're heading towards recessions in 2024, we may even see a bit of a bigger pullback, maybe back down to this area 350 again. But anyway, looking at today's chart, there's no major areas for rejection. I can't really see anything. Maybe we've got this area here, and that would be, let's just draw the line. If we were trying to find a trade, we will be looking at 445, so maybe we can make a note of 445. Right, so that's the SPY. So I'm going to be really looking for 445 reject, and that will, if we do take 445, then that will be a high risk scalp rather than a full play. But moving to the hourly time frame, 445 is, you know, it's way up here, so it's got to break over last week's high or the 16th of June's high and break over Friday's high as well to get there. And we've got this area, technically we're in a demand zone because we have broken the high and we've pulled back into it. So the reason I've coloured this area green, because to remind me that we are in a demand zone, and because we have broken it there and pulled back into it. But if we see a bit of a breakdown today and a pullback, then this could technically be a supply zone as well. You know, so saying where the original ceiling is now the floor, and then maybe this floor could become the ceiling again. So on the SPY, I'm going to be watching for a very scalp bounce at 442.30 area, and it's basically the bounce of these two pivots and that pivot there, so that area I'm watching. Apart from that, there's nothing really until we get back down to this demand zone, and that's purely because we've got the tops of these candles. This basically this head and shoulders pattern, and so what I'm looking for is a bounce along at 439. That's a higher risk bounce, but I'll be really watching 438, which is I've got it set as a major level on the daily and the hourly. 439 is more of a minor level because we have got a couple of pivots there, so that could be an area where I may start my starter position at 439 with a fuller position at 438, and I'll be looking for a bounce back up. If we do get the bounce, a good target will be 440 round number, and then maybe this area here where the top of that candle and the bottom of that candle converged, and then maybe back to 442.34, the high risk area. So that's really all I've got on SPY. So I'm watching 438 as a major level. So moving over to the MES or the ES, this is the hourly time frame. We've got similar position on the daily where there's not a great deal until we get to this area up here, which is 4,600. Potentially we may have a scalp at 4505 or 4500 is a nice round number, so possibly we could keep an eye on 4500 as a rejection area. 45, yeah, that's the only place I can see. And again, we're quite close to it, and with the market strength we could even just drive straight through it. Back on the hourly, so let's just mark out 4500, which is not far off. In fact, that's not far off the high we had on Friday. 4500, I'll put an alert. So that area there, so that is potentially a high risk rejection, which I've already marked off the high from Friday. And similar to the SPY, a higher risk bounce area is going to be this level here, which will be 44.80.75, and again that's basically bouncing from this pullback at the end of Friday, so basically Friday's close. Again, I've marked this area as green now rather than red because it's technically a supply, a demand area, because we have broken through it and pulled back to it, and that will remain a demand area or a support area until we can break back through. Today, if we see it break through, pull back, I may look for a break and retest back down. But then we've got a couple of levels at 44.60.50 and 44.40. So this break and retest is an area I'll be watching for, with a potential target at 44.60.50, that area, and my final target there, because I'll be looking for this area for a major bounce. And that's it really. I've cleaned up my charts a little bit. I've changed my levels so I can see what is a major level, and I can see now what is a minor level. I've just got higher risk, so I know. And so just to recap my numbers again, I've got a higher risk bounce at 44.80.75, and we're getting down to that now. I've also got a major level at 44.60.50, and I would treat that as a scalp or higher risk, this level here. And if it is a higher risk, then look for confirmation. So we're looking for reversal candle, volume on the reverse. And then I've got a major area at the 44.32 to 44.40 area. So this is a supply, a demand area where we've had areas where we've had lots of supply. So we broke through it quite easily there, but we did pause a little bit here before we broke down. So and then we tried testing it a few times here as well before it broke up through it. So it is a known area of supply and demand, and so I'll be watching this area, so 44.40, and I'll be getting in with smaller start positions and with a full position at 44.32, 44.30 for a bounce back up. Hope you had a good day trading today, and it's only half a day, so probably won't move much, but don't lose, that's all I can say. Go into your July the 4th celebrations tomorrow on a winning day, and remember, no position is a position. Okay, bye bye.